We want to make this a site. This is a site that, you know, I'm into. I've been a member. Bruce signed me up like 30 days into it. That's why my username is Matt. I got lucky enough to get my own thing. So this is something that we all believe in and we're all behind, and we are listening to the core membership, and we want to put these features in here that you really want. And we're also listening to new members and those who have been new members, and those new members who said, you know, I was a member for a year before I started to get into it, because yeah, the site, you know, there's a lot of stuff on that home page. And yeah, there is. Trust me, when the support team who's been working on the site for 6 years calls me up and says, hey, there's a problem with the labels da-da-da page. And I'm like, how do you find that? I can find it on the back end, but how can they navigate to that? I mean, there's still a lot of pieces that, you know, this site is very deep in trying to understand and to fix that. So, some of the things: implemented Google Maps, streamline the new sign-up process. And since we've done this, we've seen our closure rate, basically our conversion rate, people who come to the site. It's gone up from like 1% of the people who come to the site who sign up, and when I checked yesterday's, 4% of the people who are coming to the site are now signing up. So we're getting over like 75 to 100 more users per day. Extended Amazon book lookup, added the ISBN 13 support. And extended the lookup to 6 languages, and one thing I've noticed is that since the release bar on the side has actually been showing more pictures because people are actually able to find their ISBN book and not just throwing it in there. And again, clean data. If we can find that ISBN, it makes it a lot easier to track, consolidate, and put a book at a higher level and say, okay, well, what do all the members of BookCrossing think about this book? How many of this book have been released worldwide? Those kind of metrics we can start to, those kind of stats that people like to see, we can start to consolidate and show those because the data will mean more. Implemented spam controls, and this is again a support team feature, but the support team was receiving probably 400 spams or more a day into our support queue. So when they would go into our support software, they would have basically the spam bot would come through and just spam. And so we've caught, I had it tracked and I sent it to a special folder in my email, and we've caught over 6,000 spam mails that would have gone to support in the last 2 months that have now been caught. And so we're trying to clean it up. Database tuning to speed up performance in the forums, store books, user lookups. Hopefully we'll see that, but ran through the database when I first came on board and found some things that were, you know, it's not completely fixed, but it's closer, and it really brought performance up, as you can see. Long-term bug fixes and feature requests, and one thing I noticed is as I started fixing bugs, people say, yes, this is a bug, and oh, by the way, did you know that this hasn't been working for a few years? And the lists are going to grow. And so there's been a lot of filtering on my part, trying to figure out what needs to be fixed immediately and what can wait a little while for a redesign. And so begin the design process for a more stable system architecture, and that's the feature, and that's the direction that we're going now. So I can hand back over to Scott.
Matt is our programming god. He really is. All right, a few more slides, and we're going to get on with this, because I'm geeked out, right? Okay, next slide. There's only a few more, I promise. Okay. Having looked at all the different things that we talked about, incorporating all the Google Maps and all these additional features and functionality, one of the things that we're here to announce today, and we haven't put all the bows around it, is a Book Around the World Challenge. Now, I know that a lot of local communities do this, but we want to do this on a national level. We're already getting a little bit of the press and analyst coverage on this, but I'm fully vetting this out in the next month. And that is book recorded and travel, the goal of which in every country. So we're going to release 50 books, probably a lot more than that, in all the countries that we're in, and then try to get that going through and tracking through the digital pictures, the videos, all the different things, and post this on a specific section of the site. Most prizes awarded in most countries of books traveled through, most unique places it was found, and trust me, for some of the pictures that I've seen, there are some very unique places where these books are deposited. And then the best story from a travel book. I've been talking to a lot of the corporations that are going to hopefully help sponsor this event, so that as we get the press and analysts going on this, it's just going to really put book crossing even further on the map. And there's a very, again, humanistic, altruistic, serendipity, I'll come up with a couple more buzzwords, that really, I think, will make this a huge success. And we're going to tie this around, from a timing perspective, on the, I believe it's the BC UK Unconvention, that's around the end of June, early July, and another project that I'm going to talk about very, very briefly. So I'm going to put more color around this with the support team and whatnot, and then get this out to y'all so that you can provide that feedback. Did you hear the whole y'all thing? I've only been here for 4 days. Like a chameleon, just like blend right in. Okay, next slide. Okay, you keep going. This is kind of the visual. Next one. Okay, right. Projecting 2 million members and 10 million books registered within the next 2 years. I think this is actually conservative. I honest to God do. Given the growth and what we've seen even in the last 4 to 6 months, I think this is completely sandbagged numbers. But I think it's doable. All right, localization of BookCrossing site. This is something that I've personally just been getting, again, a lot of email on from folks around the world. We have a tremendous amount of dedicated staff members that have not only gone so far as to like work with the team here internally to take support calls and whatnot, they have these sites, mirrored sites and support sites that are set up around the world. They're popping up everywhere. We are going to continue to partner with those people because they are part of our book crossing community. However, one of the things that people constantly are pinging us on and saying, look, why can't we just have a site that's in our localized language? So, as soon as we finish raising this next round of money that we're bringing in, we are going to have the capability of when you go to the site in, and I know I'm going to hear from other countries that are going to want this, but I'm just going to tell you what we're doing now. So for Germany, for German, French, Spanish, Italian, Dutch, and Portuguese, I think, I could be wrong, don't hold it to me. You'll literally just be able to go to the site, click on the language you want, and the entire site is going to be translated in that language. You go to the book crossing ID, boom, you enter that in, your journal entries, so that, again, while we've got respect for all the support and mirrored sites that we've got, for the core part of book crossing and what we do, we want that to be localized in their native tongue. So that will be coming out very shortly. What's that?
We need it in Australian, mate.
We'll get on that. All right, globalization in every country of the world. We want to be an international space station on other planets too. I know that sounds crazy. However, we have an astronaut in Danville, California, where I'm from, that is a book crosser. And so I PM'd him and I said, hey, great honor, we're very humbled in the presence of greatness. My last email, my last PM was, can you bring some books up to the International Space Station? And so I didn't get a response yet. But trust me when I tell you, that is my goal. If he can somehow find a way to get books up into the International Space Station, it would be huge. So.
But it won't be huntable.
What's that?
It won't be huntable.
You need to go through the astronaut training program. One thing I have learned is when book crossers set their mind to something. Okay, enhanced book trading, rings, rates, partnerships. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Book preference matching, which is also falling into the category of feature. K through 12 programs with kid-friendly site. This is big, right? I mean, some of our forums, again, no disrespect to some of our members, but the language tends to get a little... WTF is fine. When you actually spell out the words, then I have to get 2 o'clock in the morning calls from Matt saying, Scott, what do you want to do with this word? And 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh, it's fine. We need that.
Matt says, oh, swear word.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is